Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're going to be using Sandy Shock's Espathra to show why it is still terrifying in Regulation C. If you guys enjoy and you want to see some more content like this, of course, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and answer the comment question of the day: what is your least favorite core to use? I can't lie, this one might be up there for me at the very least. I really don't like using Sandy Shock's Espathra. Not because I don't think I can play it well, but it's mostly because of the fact I feel really dirty every time I use it, and especially every time I land hypnosises. But let me know your guys' thoughts. And with that said, let's get started today. First up, of course, we do have Espathra. Now, Espathra ends up being a speed boosting set with Protect, Lumina Crash, Pounce, and Hypnosis. This was a set that I actually used when I used Espathra in Series 2, and I still think it's the best set. Pounce is a great way to drop opponent's speed, which is great. While it is single target, unlike Icy Wind, it's 100% accurate, so you can at least choose a target, and this has some benefits. It's really helpful, especially if you want to get some speed drops against Pokemon like King Gambit, for example, which people typically run, well, one, just because King Gambit's really good, but people run especially the Defiant ability because it's great at pressuring stuff like Intimidators, or in this case, Iron Bundle's Icy Wind. However, with the Pounce instead, you can actually control which target this is hitting, which is extremely valuable to get around the potential King Gambit partner. Not only this, but Lumina Crash is a great way to drop special defensive opponents, and even if your opponent does try and switch in King Gambit to predict around this, you're not boosting Defiant at least, they'll just be immune to you, which is pretty good. But Lumina Crash is a great way to actually help assist the special attackers in this team because it drops Spit F by 2 stages, which is really useful. It's like Thunderous Kick, but for special. Terra Gross is great to get around Fake Out, and it helps a lot with the Focus Sash item that we have. Meanwhile, Hypnosis is mostly here because of our partner Sandy Shocks, which is going to set up Gravity for it. Now, Gravity Sandy Shocks is pretty good. We've seen Gravity Hypnosis on Pokemon like Bronzong in the past, which will typically run it on their own. However, with Sandy Shocks' case, it actually partners with Espathra, and you can get a lot of good use out of this one. You'd essentially end up going for stuff like Thunder as a really spammable option, and it makes this into a very terrifying special attacker. With the 52 HP and the 204 special attack, this actually is designed to make sure that we are speed boosting with booster energy, which is, in my opinion, the better way to run this. I know some people do special attack boosting because it helps Sandy Shocks nuke a lot of opponents, but I prefer the guarantee of Gravity, especially when a lot of people are running stuff like Focus Sash Fluttermane or Focus Sash Chin Pow. They can otherwise get around you, and at least having that guaranteed ability to outpace those Pokemon is really huge. We're Terra Ghost here as well because this is definitely a nice option to fake out for a lot of people, and the 50-50 there of will I fake out into Espathra or Sandy Shocks is usually leaning into, oh, Espathra's gonna click Protect, let's fake out Sandy Shocks here. And by going for Terra Ghost, this is actually a really good way to force opponents to get kind of screwed over clicking Fake Out. So I do think this is really good. It's great, especially in Closed Sheet, but in Open Sheet, it still has merits of forcing the definite 50-50 there. But yeah, it's really terrifying nonetheless. Up next, we have Chi-Yu, which turns this team into an absolute nightmare to play around. Chi-Yu is great around clearing stuff like grasses, for example, like a Mungus that would otherwise be able to sponge the Sandy Shocks hits, or just any other Terra Grass mons in general, like Iron Hands. With Protect, Fire Blast, Heat Wave, and Dark Pulse, this is essentially designed to take advantage of the Gravity. With Heat Wave and Fire Blast both having accuracy issues, they no longer are actually considered viable options in Gravity, and this makes Chi-Yu into a terrifying offensive threat. With Fire Blast especially, this will give us a single target attack for the Fire offense, which is huge. It's actually why I went with Terra Fire on this set, because it's just such a good way to break through opponents, and most people don't like taking hits from Terra Fire or Chi-Yu, especially not with Life Orb. Now, I recommend running this with 29 HP IVs. Every time I run this mon with Life Orb, I want you to know I always forget that. But I do recommend either going with the 4 HP or with the 29 IVs in the HP stat, just to make sure you're not dying to your own Life Orb. But overall, though, this is definitely a pretty good option nonetheless. It's a great special breaker in the tier. We have Corviknight up next, which is our Tailwind option here. I figured that Tailwind with stuff like Chi-Yu and Sandy Shocks could be pretty beneficial. It's also really good with our last Pokemon on the team, but this also is just a really good win con for us. I thought this was a lot better of a Fissure immunity than Gyarados was, which was initially on the team. And with the Corviknight especially, it's able to actually 1v4 a lot of teams in this metagame, with Safety Goggles being a great immunity to not only Spore, but also to Rage Powder. We have Tailwind, Bulk Up, Brave Bird, and Roost. The 132 speed means that we'll outpace non-booster energy bundle with the speed. I could definitely creep this for Pult though, which if that's the case, if you do desire to go up to the Pult creep, you're going to want to bring this thing to 164 speed and 92 Fizz Def. But either set is pretty good here. With the Tailwind as well, it's great for just speed control. It helps again with Chi-Yu and Sandy Shocks being more threatening. We have Roost just to help with longevity. Terra Dragon is great as well to turn this thing into a resistance to stuff like Fire, which is great for the Chi-Yu matchup, because typically Brave Bird can just massacre that. Overall though, this is a pretty terrifying option nonetheless. We have Iron Hands up next, just AV Iron Hands. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really entirely sure what Clutch had with this spread. I know at the very least that with the max speed F, this is overall able to hit a special defense bump, which is huge. The 12 HP and 92 fist def, I'm pretty sure that's for Headlong Rush pre-Terra. And then the 148 attack, if I remember correctly, that's just leaning into the rest. We're sassy minus speed with the 16 speed of these. This is actually set within if my opponent does not have Trick Room up. We're able to outpace Garganacl, which is huge. Garganacl is just a really threatening Pokemon, and being able to outpace it and get up Drain Punches is good. Meanwhile, at the very least, we could still slow Volt Switch on a lot of other threats. Overall, really good option. Terra Grass is great for the ground resistance, and it's really just a good mon. Final mon of the team, though, is Flutter Mane. We're just max special attack, max speed, specs Flutter Mane. Psyshock is here for Glamour because it's like 20% usage right now. Then it's Stabs, and Terra Steel is great for the Flutter Mane matchups. Otherwise, just standard specs Flutter Mane. It's a great partner with Chiyu and Corviknight, and overall, they're pretty damning together. With that said, though, that's going to be the team today. Hopefully, you guys enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the battles. Peace out, guys. Hey guys, we're here today using a very not good, I don't like when I have to use this court, Sandy Shock's Espathra. Yes, I was going to use something else today. I was going to showcase Chien-Pao, but I started losing on the ladder, and I decided this was what we were doing today. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, answer the comment question of the day. What's your least favorite core? This might be one of my least favorites. It's just how it has to win games is really unfortunate. But I get it. I can be a villain too. Let's see. Oh, right, I should take notes of what we're fighting. So, Kingambit, Nihilip, Gyarados, Ting-Lu, Mimikyu, Grimmsnarl. So this looks like it's a very Trick Room heavy team. They're definitely going to lead off with like Mimikyu or something. I'm going to proceed to immediately go for the Protect plus hit. Actually, no, I can't even really make that lead work, because Mimikyu will actually be kind of annoying for it. I could Hypnosis the partner slot at least and make Mimikyu kind of useless. That'll be fine, yeah. I'll still have my Focus Sash intact. We're gonna bring Chiyu, not Chiyu. We're gonna actually bench Chiyu. We're gonna bring Flutter Mane. Am I gonna bring Flutter Mane? Actually, no, because Corviknight can kind of just win this game on its own. We're gonna bench Corviknight Flutter Mane. I don't know, Flutter Mane and Chiyu here. I could definitely have led with that as well, but truthfully, I'm gonna be honest, it's not as funny. Plus, I think realistically that the Espathra Sandy Shock's lead can put a lot of pressure on, especially if they go for a dumb play turn 1 with Mimikyu, which we might see. We might see a dumb Mimikyu play turn 1. Usually Mimikyu are not exactly known for playing the smartest on turn 1. Gyarados Grimmsnarl. Okay, so this is perfect. This actually is quite literally as good as it could have gotten here. Now, I could definitely make a bit of a gamble here and go for a Thunder plus a Luminous Crash turn 1. However, I don't think I will. I think what I'm actually going to proceed to do, I'm going to click Protect on Espathra, and then I'm going to Terra Ghost my Sandy Shocks. There's not really a mon here that I would actually prefer the Terra Dragon on Corviknight, and going for it on Sandy Shocks at least means that I'm going to take the Gyarados Waterfall, which is pretty helpful. Plus, Gyarados can go for a lot of different things, truthfully. I could definitely go for like a Terra Ground this turn, and that would make a lot of sense actually, because Terra Ground Gyarados would be able to avoid taking Thunder damage, which is pretty useful for it. My opponent could also definitely just Terra something like the Ting-Lu later on, which Ting-Lu Terra could have some merit for my opponent, at least depending on what I would have in the back. So, Protect turn 1 for us, obviously, and then we're going to go for Gravity. They're going to go for Thunder Wave. Okay, Thunder Wave is fine. Into the Espathra. Perfect, okay. So, Thunder Wave. Perfect, good to note. And then what's Gyarados going to go for? Gyarados is going to go for Waterfall. Okay, Waterfall makes sense. It's exactly what we were expecting. Seems like technically speaking we could have taken the hit, but again, wasn't exactly 100%. We'll go for Hypnosis into Grim, and then I'm going to go for Thunder into Gyarados. Realistically, Gyarados should just drop here. Meanwhile, my opponent's Grimmsnarl should just get put to sleep. I think there's a chance as well that they just try and Thunder Wave my Sandy Shocks now that it's Terra Ghost, which, truthfully, I would like that a lot, actually. Because the Thunder Wave into Gyarados would be a lot better than Espathra. I would actually hate Espathra going to sleep. My opponent's going to proceed to go into Ting-Lu. Ting-Lu is fine. Let's see. So, Vessel of Ruin. We can just put that mon to sleep next turn. That's perfectly okay. We'll still outpace it perfectly fine. It won't actually be that big of a deal. I will say keeping Sandy Shocks in the field now probably isn't my best play. I think that I'm going to need to switch into most likely Corviknight and just start setting up. Which I don't really mind. I could also just go into Iron Hands here, truthfully, because my opponent has not actually prioritized their screens, so my Iron Hands looks pretty decent here. However, I think that it is a little bit safer still to just go for Hypnosis here and then switch out into Corviknight. Because I do think that seeing my opponent's mons, they have Gyarados, Tinglu, and Grimmsnarl, we can get Corviknight in and start bulking up and then drop my opponent's attack, which will be really huge actually, because that delays their ability to actually even take on Corviknight. So I'm actually pretty okay with that. Plus it looks like my opponent will, at least if they are switching, they're switching out after me, which is good. Which means that my opponent might even just get put to sleep. Not put to sleep, Intimidate dropped, which I guess doesn't end up happening, that's fine. Okay. Let's see, they're gonna go for Fissure. Okay, so Fissure, if it's into Corviknight, we're immune. It's into Espathra. Okay, good to know. I'm curious how that interaction will actually work with Focus Sash. I'm not sure how that will play, but we'll have to figure it out at some point. Why not now? I'm gonna just go for bulk ups here, because Corviknight is my win con, and they don't actually have a good way to break it, because their entire team is actually physically leaning. Besides, I guess technically Mimikyu might have cursed, and that's really the worst thing that would happen here. But if we just start bulking up here, perfect. Yep, okay. Espathra gets the hypnosis off. Perfect, okay. Yeah, I can proceed to just start going for pounces, truthfully. I can also just switch out Espathra, to be completely honest, into Iron Hands. I don't actually lose a lot doing that, and I can gain a fake out turn if anything, which will be helpful. That'll get me just another opportunity to bulk up and then beat Tinglu, because Tinglu should just get massacred in this matchup. I can't actually see a way that my opponent does beat it. I'm gonna switch. Yeah, I don't really care about my speed boosts at this point, truthfully. My Espathra should outpace the entire team. We'll go for another bulk up here, because I think that it's in my best interest to just go for bulk up and then go for Brave Bird plus fake out into Tinglu, and then I could probably KO it on the next turn with another Brave Bird after that. So I think that's going to be my best play. Grimmsnarl being asleep is fine. I don't really mind that. It's really good for me. Well, actually, do I kill the Grimmsnarl before it Thunder Waves me? Because Thunder Wave could actually be an interesting way for my opponent to beat me. No, actually, that's good. Truthfully, if they Thunder Wave me, that's actually extremely advantageous, because the Thunder Wave would mean, and I guess that I probably should have, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have Gravity with Corviknight here against Tinglu, but it is what it is. But essentially, my best play would be actually if they go for Thunder Wave into me, and Tinglu is alive, because that means that they can't actually break me with Fissure. Now, my opponent is going to switch out here, and they're going to go into Annihilate. Okay, so Annihilate is dead. Annihilate is dead. The Corviknight will 100% KO this thing, which is perfect for me. Grimmsnarl will wake up, Thunder Wave goes off into Corviknight, and perfect. Now I can Roost, which is fucking great. I can just take out the Grimmsnarl on the following turn, which is huge. Despite the fake out, well, I guess the Drain Punch being ignored, I don't really care. Also, I meant to click fake out there, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. Both are immune. Annihilate just dies to Brave Bird. Perfect, okay. That's one mon gone, and that was a pretty threatening one at that. That was probably the only thing on their team that could have actually put, like, legitimate pressure on Corviknight. Because now Corviknight should just be able to Roost stall at my opponent, and because of the fact that we should underpace Tinglu unless they're minus speed, I think we just win. Yep, communication disrupted. Sounds about right. We'll get into game number 2, though. Peace out, guys. Okay, team number 2, we're taking on Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Palafin, Chien Pao, Flutter Mane, and Chi-Yu. So I guess someone here is a Moxie boosted fan. This one, this is literally like the team that I used the other day with the Fluttermane and Chi-Yu with Chien Pao, but that had Dragapult, and I think Dragapult was a lot better here. The one issue with Palafin though, and it is actually a pretty bad issue for us to be fair, is that Palafin does actually put a lot of pressure on my lead of Sandy Shock's Espathra. However, I'm going to do it anyway, because I think they're actually going to lead off with Fluttermane and Chi-Yu. Even if they lead off with Palafin, truthfully, I'm fine with that actually, because I can Terra Ghost with Sandy Shocks and guarantee the gravity up. And I just need the gravity up. Truthfully, that's all I need it for. We're going to go with Fluttermane and Chi-Yu in the back. I could definitely go with Corviknight too. It's not bad. And with Terra Dragon, it's actually kind of a monster. Because I don't think that Fluttermane and Chien Pao will live past turn 3. I could also bring Iron Hands. But at the same time, I think that Chi-Yu Fluttermane is going to be really good into the Dozagiri matchup. And the Fluttermane especially should be a really decent win con. Now, I do need to be careful because I'm not Booster Fluttermane, which means that they could actually safely outpace me. But it's just something I'm going to kind of need to take. I will need to see what happens. Now, at the very least, I know for a fact that Fluttermane Palafin will not lead. It's really the only lead, though, that would actually put, like, real pressure on me. Chi-Yu Fluttermane, yep, okay, this sounds about right. So that's not booster energy, then I guarantee the fucking, the gravity, and I don't actually even need to go for, oh my god, are they not booster? Are they not booster? Because that's huge if they're not. That's, like, really huge if they're not. Yeah, they're not. Okay, so they're probably Sash. That's good to know. I'm gonna go for Protect here, and then I'm gonna go for the Gravity. I know that I can definitely just seek my KO on Chi-Yu, but truthfully, I think they're actually gonna Protect on Chi-Yu and then go for the KO on Fluttermane. They're most likely Sash or Specs, and I'm fine with either one, in all honesty. My opponent's gonna Terra here. I'm curious if that's Terra Grass Chi-Yu. Oh, that might... Oh, no, it's Flutter Mane. I'm curious with Terra Fairy, then. It's Terra Fairy. Okay, that's fine. Terra Fairy isn't a huge deal, actually. We're gonna lose our Sandy Shocks, but that might be for the best, actually. Because what I can actually do with that, I can essentially just go into my... I can go into my Flutter Mane, and I can go for... Actually, I could go into my Chew as well. So I think I go into my Flutter Mane here. So Gravity's gonna go off, that's fine. I'm curious if Gleam will actually kill. I'm assuming it'll kill if they're Specs. If they're Sash, it might not kill. And if they're Sash, that's actually really good for me, because I can just Hypnosis the Chew, and then go for Thunder. They're definitely not Sash. Maybe they're Sash, and I'm just underestimating how strong that'll be. Okay, so I definitely go for Hypnosis into the Chew. Yeah, I think I'll go for it in the Chew. Do I? No, actually, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go for Hypnosis into Chew, and then I'm gonna go for the Terra Fire, and I'm gonna go for the Heat Wave. And I think that's gonna be my best play. Or I could just go for Fire Blast and just ensure my KO. No, because I'll guarantee KO next turn anyway. With the next turn, that Flutter Mane, even if it does live this turn, it'll guarantee drop to Lumina Crash on the following turn. I'm not that concerned. Plus, as I said, I'm pretty certain this is a Specs Flutter Mane. If it's Sash, well played. I just don't think it's Sash, really. The Terra Fire is gonna be a little bit difficult. Strictly speaking, if my opponent ends up... it's only really difficult here if my opponent's brought Dozogiri. Otherwise, it's actually pretty good for me. They're there for Gleam. That's fine. Gleam should be chewed by a Chew now because we're no longer neutral. We're resistant. And yep, 3 KO. Perfect. Okay. This Heat Wave should massacre through both Pokemon. It's probably going to be a 2 KO, no Chew. And it's probably going to bring their Flutter Mane down like at least 80-90%, if not a no-go. Alright, Heat Wave will go off here. And this should be fine. Yep, okay. So that brings, yep, 80-90%. Sounds about right. And this works out perfect because on the following turn, I can Lumina Crash into the... Actually, wait. So Pounce, it's... Let me double check. So Pounce is speed. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do here... Yeah, no, I need to just take out the... I need to take out the Flutter Mane. And then I'll go for Fire Blast into Chew. Fire Blast should objectively KO Chew. With how much damage the Heat Wave did, Fire Blast objectively KOs here. Flutter Mane is cleared, perfect, that's the Terramon gone. And Chew should also die this turn, because Chew objectively just dies to the Fire Blast. And the best part is now that Dozogiri is endgame for them, that's really huge. Well, most likely it's endgame for them, I should say. Dozogiri being endgame is really good for me, because that just means that I can proceed to go for a Hypnosis here. Oh my god, that didn't KO. I'm genuinely shocked that didn't KO. Okay, well, I have a little bit of a pickle here. Tatsugiri comes in. Okay, so since Tatsugiri comes in, actually, what I'm going to proceed to do, I'm going to go for a Pounce here in the Chew. Actually, no. I'm gonna go for a Pounce into Tatsugiri, and I'm gonna go for a Heat Wave here. Because essentially if that's Scarfed, that's fine. But this should drop the speed guaranteed and also breaks Focus Sash, which is huge. So this should now guarantee be slower than my Chew, and my Chew should do a ton of damage. Even with them waking up, that's fine. The Heat Wave should be chewed pretty comfortably, thankfully. And I can kill their Chew in the process, which is huge. The one issue will be, I guess, if Dozo's in the back and I don't KO both Mons here. Perfect. Okay, so this is at least a Life Orb hit, which is good for me. Heat Wave will go off. I guess the question is how weak is Tatsugiri? This is a 4 times resist, so I assume it'll Chew. Which is just unfortunate. They're Berry. What? Okay, fucking hell. I don't like that. That's so annoying. What the fuck? Okay. Muddy Water goes off. Yeah, that's gonna kill. Unfortunate. And yeah, so if their last mon is Dozo, they win. If it's not Dozo, though, then I think I win. But I'm pretty certain their last mon would have to be Dozo, which is just unfortunate. Because I can't beat Dozo with just Flutter Mane. Unless if for some reason Dozo's gonna suddenly start taking wave crashes, I don't win this. Then Dozo. Yep. Okay. Fuck. It's unfortunate. Because I definitely could have just sought the Chew kill, but those are so often Scarf. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah, I should have. I mean, no, I'm not even gonna go down the route of that I should have. Like, it would have won me the game if I did that play, but I still feel like that was objectively not ever gonna be my play. Yeah, all that, like, not going for that lost me the game, but I think it's only because of something that's, like, close Team Chi. I can't, like, that's not a realistic thing to bank off of, I would argue. So I stand by how I played that. If I crit Dondozo, I win, though. So I'm just going to crit Dondozo here. Watch, right here. This turn right here, we're going to crit Dondozo, and I'm going to win. Watch, right here. Dondozo's getting crit. Dondozo's getting crit this turn. And if I crit Dondozo here, you got to subscribe. Oh, fuck. No. Fuck, that would have been so cool if it crit. What the fuck? Okay, well, that's fine. We're going to go into game number 3 then. It is what it is. We're still 1-1 for the day. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll see you guys in game number 3, though. Until then, peace out, guys. Okay, so moving on to game number 3, which might be our final game, depending on how quick this goes. We're probably at about, like, 14 minutes right now, so this is a long one. It might be our last. We're taking on Chi-Yu, Wo-Chien, Iron Hands, Corvin Knight, Talonflame, and Fluttermane. Okay. So this is definitely pretty interesting, actually. I could definitely lead off with, actually, the Sandy Shocks Espathra. I think it is pretty good as a lead here. Realistically, they do have to deal with the Terra Ghost shenaniganry, which is actually really good for me. My Chi-Yu is amazing in this matchup. Chi-Yu definitely does win. I don't know if I want to bring Chi-Yu Fluttermane, though. I might bring Chi-Yu Iron Hands, but at the same... Oh, actually, no. So Fluttermane is really good here. Yeah, that convinced me. Fluttermane is really good here. That's all the convincing I needed, actually, to be completely honest. Thank you, game. Fluttermane is really good here, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious, actually. For what it's worth, it just kind of kicks my opponent's teeth in. So I'm more than happy with that. They're either going to lead off with, like, Fluttermane Talonflame here, or I think that they're probably going to lead off with, like, Chi-Yu Fluttermane. Let's see. Iron Hands Chi-Yu. Okay, Iron Hands Chi-Yu is actually probably the best lead that I could have gotten, in all honesty. Now I will say, so I might just go for... I guess the question is... No, okay, so never mind. I was going to make a really dumb play. Here. We're going to go for Protect. And then I'm going to go for Gravity. And we're going to go for the Terra Ghost. The Terra Ghost should ensure our Gravity gets up. And then I can start going for the... I can probably from here bring in most likely my Fluttermane, I guess. I think my Fluttermane will probably be the mon I bring in. Because they have their Chi-Yu dropping Spidef. And I can go for Hypnosis into Chi-Yu next turn while then Moonblasting into the Iron Hands. That'll be really good. Their Fake Out should be guaranteed ignored, though. If they go for like a Terra Grass on Iron Hands, that's fine. They're going to go for Terra on Chi-Yu. It's interesting. Terra Fire. Okay, so they're just going for damage. They're probably like a Scarf set. That's fine. Thankfully, I'll outpace that. I'll outpace that guaranteed, which is huge. Because all I need to actually do here, I just need the Gravity up. If they go for KOs, sure, I don't really care. But they're probably going to Fake Out Espathra to break a Focus Sash. But either way, it's ignored. Yep, okay, so they went for it into Sandy Shocks. Okay, that's interesting. Now I'm curious about the Chi-Yu play. Because the Chi-Yu play will actually make a huge difference into how we go about this. Okay, so they're going for Terra Fire Fake Out. That's fine. Let's see. So Heat Wave. We actually take that. I'm kind of shocked, I can't lie. Genuinely, I did not think we would take that hit. Now the question is I guess, does Chi-Yu die? Sandy Shocks. So, we are timid. We are speed boosting. Chi-Yu. It's Terra Fire. Earth Power should pretty near guarantee a KO, actually. We're gonna go for Hypnosis into Iron Hands then. And then I'm gonna go for... I guess the question is does Thunder... Thunder doesn't do more. Thunder doesn't come close to doing more. Yeah, we're gonna go for Earth Power here. Earth Power, as I said, it should nearly guarantee a KO here. It does like 93% min. So it's definitely like a favorable roll at that. And I did double check. This is not like a spec set or anything. Yeah, so Chi-Yu should just drop to this. Most likely. Okay, no. So Chi-Yu got a pretty good roll at that. Like, that's a low roll. That is a low fucking roll for that. Holy shit. Okay, so Heat Wave's gonna kill us. That's fine. In exchange, though, we'll be able to take their Iron Hands. And actually, next turn, truthfully, this opens up a lot for us. Because I can kill that Chi-Yu with Gleam. That's 100% in Gleam range from Specs Fluttermane. Fluttermane has no chance of taking that, actually. I guess the question is actually... Hold on. Because I might need to make another play. Let me double check something. So really quickly, Sandy Shocks. We had 52 HP. Heat Wave with Terra Fire. Oh, that's fucking Choice Scarfed. Oh, I'm so glad I did not almost make a really dumb play. Okay. So we are gonna actually instead, we'll have to go for. So I guess, yeah. So I don't think that Pounce kills here. Pounce definitely does not kill. But I need to go for Pounce into Chew to drop the speed, because that is objectively like it's not a boosting item, and I don't feel safe enough with that being like a guaranteed not Scarf Chew. So we're gonna go for this. I think it's a little bit safer for us personally, just to guarantee the KO. And we can take out at the very least the Chew guaranteed. Chew should live this hit too, so we'll still get the Spreff drop, which is helpful. They're gonna withdraw Iron Hands. It's fine. What are they bringing in? They're going to bring in... I'm curious if it's Corviknight. I feel like it should be Corviknight. It is Corviknight. Okay, that's fine. Corviknight coming in is a little bit concerning, but it's not too big of a deal. Really, the biggest concern with Corviknight coming in, truthfully, is the fact that I need to go hard in Chew, but they might have Body Press. But I don't think they Body Press that slot anyway. I could just go for Hypnosis into Corviknight, actually, and I can kind of stall out from here. I could also... So what I'll probably end up doing is I'm probably just going to go for Protect on Espathra here. Ignore the Fake Out turn. And then go for a Gleam, just in case my opponent goes for like a Wild Charge this turn. They're actually gonna go into their Flutter Mane. Okay, that's actually really good for me. This does mean though that I need to change what I'm valuing targeting here. Does it actually? I don't know. They're not choiced, and I am max speed. Maybe they're not max speed. I could go hard into Chew, but I don't think it's a play. I think I actually always just Hypnosis into Flutter Mane, and then I go for Specs Gleam. Specs Gleam should still do a lot of damage, and there's no guarantee that they're Iron Head anyway. Like, if we're gonna be honest, who says they're Iron Head? Also, I just realized that Iron Hands is asleep. I don't know why I was talking about Fake Out turns. It's not gonna be a wait to get a Fake Out turn off. This Gleam should do like half to both. Okay, maybe not half to both, but that still does good damage. I can proceed to just go for a Hypnosis into Corviknight next turn, and I'm fine. Brave Bird goes off. It's pretty okay. Thankfully, they're targeting the Flutter Mane, so they're being a little bit stupid. Actually, I can't lie. Because they could have actually been really smart with that and killed the Espathra. Now, actually, what I could do, I could just seek my KOs. I'll just go for Gleam and Lumina Crash. Worst case, the Corviknight lives and it goes for a Roost, but I'm actually pretty okay with that, because killing the Flutter Mane is probably one of the biggest things against me right now. If they killed the Espathra here, that could have actually genuinely... Well, no, actually, that wouldn't have mattered, because Flutter Mane would guarantee be asleep this turn, and then I could probably just pick off both with Heat Wave next turn, and that'd be fine. It would have been a little inconvenient at worst, but this definitely made the game a lot easier for sure. And this is gonna mean that we're gonna get a game number 4 in, which is pretty good, because there's no way in hell that they win this. Like, I just go for Lumina Crash next turn with Gleam and I win, because Iron Hands can't beat that. And even if Iron Hands does go for Fake Out and it wakes up and kills the Espathra, right? It doesn't really matter, because Flutter Mane just wins. So we'll go for Lumina Crash and we'll go for... Oh, god damn it. I meant to click Gleam. Okay. So battle was canceled. Perfect. Okay, yep. So with that said, we're going to get into game number 4. We'll see you guys then. Peace out, guys. Okay, so getting into our last game of the day, we're taking on Talonflame, Ceruledge, Gastrodon, Kingambit, Rotom, Mo, and Flutter Mane. Okay, so looking at this, I think that one of the scariest things that they could lead, truthfully, would be something with Talonflame. Talonflame Flutter Mane is pretty scary. Talonflame Ceruledge is also pretty scary. I think I need a little bit more of an offensive lead here. But defense, I mean, Espathra Shocks isn't a bad lead here. I don't think it's a terrible one. I think that there might be a better lead here, though, just with how aggressive their Tailwind is. At the same time, I don't know, would that matter? Would that matter? So, actually, I think that this might just be my best lead, because essentially, if they lead off with, like, Talonflame Ceruledge, right? They're either going to miss Tailwind, because I'm going to go for a Gravity and then go for Hypnosis into Talonflame. Which I'm fine with that, because they can only guarantee so many hits. Also, Ceruledge just guarantees slower, which is huge. The worst thing that they could probably do is just go for, like, dual target into Espathra, which I think will probably happen, actually. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll bring the Chew Flutter Mane in the back. I think Chew Flutter Mane does a good job at disrupting their team. They don't have great checks to Fairy at all, actually, which is huge. And with the Terra Steel, I can actually... That's most likely going to be my Terramon, because it's good for getting around Kingambit Sucker Punch, which is huge. And the Flutter Mane plus Chew should be able to massacre their team. I don't actually have any concern with this. The scariest thing would probably unironically be the Ceruledge. Ceruledge will put a ton of offensive pressure on my build, and especially in tandem with Gastrodon, that could be scary. But if they lead it, it's honestly fine. Flutter Mane Rotom. Okay, Flutter Mane Rotom Mo is actually probably one of the best leads I could have had here. That's objectively a Scarf Rotom Mo, which is huge. I can just go for their Booster Energy Flutter Mane as well. And I know that I can take that hit. And we know for a fact. Oh, it's Special Attack. Okay, that's also fine. I'm almost curious if they're going to try and trick a Scarf onto it. I feel like that's probably what they're going to do, in all honesty. Which is fine. Let's see, photosynthesis, special attack. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so we always go for protect here, and then I'm gonna go for a gravity this turn. This does mean that we are objectively losing Sandy Shocks, unless they for some reason just dual target into the Espathra, which I'm pretty okay with that actually. They're gonna Terra Fluttermane as well, which I'm okay with that. They're gonna go Terra Fairy. How did I know? Okay, so again, I'm pretty sure that's a trick Scarf Rhoda. And they're gonna probably trick a Scarf onto their Fluttermane, which I'm fine with that. I'm actually really okay with that, because next turn at the very least, I can just go into my Fluttermane, go for Terra Steel, and then just go for Clean back at them, and that'll do a ton of damage. So Rotom fell, perfect, that's good for me. They're actually gonna just go for Leaf Storm. So they are Scarf Rotom. They are objectively Scarf Rotom, because they outpace Fluttermane. Unless that's like a really fucking slow Fluttermane. Okay. Leaf Storm and then Dazzling Gleam. Okay. This is fine. What I can proceed to do here. So what I think, let's see. So I could definitely, I'm just going to go into Fluttermane. I'm going to go for the Terra Steel. And then as far as my opponent goes, I'm just going to go for Hypnosis into Rotom. Hypnosis into Rotom is fine. That should put out to sleep the fastest Pokemon on the field. And then my Terra Steel Dazzling Gleam, it's not going to KO either Mon, but it's going to do a lot of damage to both, and I can proceed to just go for a Hypnosis into Fluttermane on the next turn anyway. But this should guarantee that I keep my Sash intact, which is helpful. Not only that, but they don't have great switch-ins to this anyway, and this is a really good option for us to clean, which is going to be helpful. Let's see. So the Terra Steel does pop. Rotom should just get put to sleep, which is huge. And then I'm curious. So they didn't switch, which is good. And then Rotom is now put to sleep. Perfect. I'm curious about what's gonna end up happening with the Fluttermane. Like how much will it actually do? Because this is booster special attack. I assume this will like 3 KO my Fluttermane, and it's gonna bring Espathra down to Sash objectively. We actually outpace them, which is good to note. Though I guess it's pretty guaranteed. They're going for Misty Train. Oh, they're trying to stop the Hypnosis spam. That's a good play actually. Well, let me rephrase. I don't think it's a good play, but I get the logic in it. Like there's sound logic in that play, but it actually helps me out so much because if that Fluttermane hit was for whatever reason a roll, I actually guarantee the KO now, which is great. And because they're special attack boosting, they actually have to be slower than my Fluttermane, which is huge because both these Pokemon do just drop this turn, which works out really well. Even if Fluttermane does click Protect here, at the least the Rotom drops because, as I said, I know that has to be Scarf Rotom. So they're either going to switch out here or they're just going to lose the Rotom, which is good because that could be kind of scary, I guess. So the scariest thing about Rotom, truthfully, is the fact that it could technically speaking go for like a trick onto one of my other mons and trick it into unfavorable moves, or like weaken my Fluttermane damage output by tricking a Scarf onto it instead of the Specs. They're going to go for Protect on Fluttermane. Okay. That's fine. They're stalling me out Misty Train. Though I guess it doesn't really matter because they're stalling in my Gravity out, which is probably the better thing for sure in that situation. Okay. So this is fine. This is fine. King Gambit could be kind of a problem now. It's not too big of a deal, but it's something I need to now keep note of, which is concerning. Okay. So let's see. So out of curiosity, I guess, what could my opponent do? So I think I always just go for the same play anyway. The Lumina Crash into Fluttermane and then go for Gleam. They're actually going to bring in Talonflame here. Talonflame can actually get put to sleep, which is kind of huge. Though I don't know if I actually need to do that, to be completely honest. We're just going to go for Lumina Crash and we're going to go for Gleam. Because if they're not going for like a Brave Bird here or a Tailwind here, then that's fine. They could definitely... yeah, they're going to go for Tailwind, and that's fine. Their Fluttermane will outpace me, sure. But it's a passive turn for them, and they're going to lose both Pokemon actually right now, which is, truthfully, I think that's a better outcome for me. Critical hit does not matter at all. This thing, truthfully, just dropped to the Specs Gleam anyway. Or worst case scenario, I picked it off next turn, because it locked priority now. And my Espathra objectively outpaces them at this point. So yeah. Both these mons do just die. Perfect. Okay. Talonflame and Fluttermane are gone. They're just down to one Pokemon, and they have to take on my Fluttermane, my Espathra, and the Chi-Yu. Now, if it's King Gambit, one of those is a non-issue, and it's the Espathra. If it's anything else, though, that actually is pretty good for me. So truthfully, I do think that we have a little bit of an issue. It's not a huge one. Oh, Gastrodon's out. Okay. This is truthfully the best case. Because Gastrodon just gets... I don't even actually need to respect Gastrodon, truthfully. because I just go for the Gleam here, because there's no reason to actually switch into Chiyu, since I just care about the special defense drops, which Lumina Crash will provide anyway, and then I can clean up from here. I was gonna say, if it was Ceruledge, I would have actually had to switch out here with Flutter Mane into Chiyu, and then go for Lumina Crash into the Ceruledge, because either it killed Espathra by going for like a Shadow Sneak or something, or they killed Chiyu, which I'm fine with that, and even if they got damage off in Chiyu, most likely they didn't kill without close combat, I guess. Then King Gambit would have been an actual issue. I would have had to switch out into that and then take the gamble, which is kind of unfortunate. But it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this though, and if you did and you want to see some more content like it, like and subscribe for more. Shout out to our channel members being Josh K Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke Zero, Matt O'Shea, Bbat, Anna Tupur, Timo Mueller, and Fonzie. Your guys' support on the vids is greatly appreciated, and if you want to get some bonus content, we're doing the all 4 Ruin Pokemon team that should be going up within a week or two. It might take it up to 2 weeks, but it's probably gonna be a week or two. But with that said, we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video where we're gonna be using a Chien Pao team. Until then, peace out, guys.